Round 7 of the Scottish Ford Fiesta Championship, and it's a warm welcome back to the cars to Knockhill. Here's the grid: Blair Murdoch on pole, Dave Colville alongside row 2, the XR2 pole to Peter Cruikshank with Wayne McCauley next to him, then it's Mike Strong and Stuart Haston. Row 4, George Orr and Hamish Smart, then Stephen Emsley and Ian Donaldson, Steve Russell and Craig Taylor completing the top dozen on the grid, then it's Michael Jenkins and Stuart Robertson, Alex Shaw 15th, and the grid completed by Stephen Ward. Cars on the grid, lights out now, looks like a good start all round, and getting the drop from pole position is Blair Murdoch with Dave Colville in red on his, well, as we look at it, on his right of shot. The XR2s make a good start as well. Stuart Haston, the third of the STs, and it's a good clean start. The car's first visit for 2 months. Now last month they were away at Cadwell Park, and hopefully we'll get the chance to talk about that round a little bit later on, but it looks like they've all successfully negotiated Scotsman Corner for the first time of 10 laps here for round 7 of the championship. What a great start by Blair Murdoch. Dave Colville in hot pursuit. Third place, the leading XR2 is Peter Cruikshank. Cruikshank second in the championship for the XR2s, having suffered a non-finish on race 2 at Cadwell Park. He won the opening race there, which was useful for double points for the Travellers, but here they come down into the hairpin for the first time. Challenging Mike Strong on the inside is the yellow ST of Stuart Haston. STs, of course, will traditionally feature up at the strong end of the grid, so it's a particularly good performance from Peter Cruikshank and Wayne McCauley. And now Mike Strong in third position, not too far away from them. There's Mike, the red car with the silver stripes, going down the side, and coming through the field from the back is George Orr, car number 31. Well, we're absolutely awe-struck with that first lap from the back of the grid up into 5th place. Great stuff from George. Made his debut in the Scottish Mini Cooper Cup on their away round at Croft, supporting the British touring cars, and he was very quick there. We know that he's got talent. If you put that in perspective with the rest of the guys, of course, in this championship, all of these drivers capable of going on to other formulae and climbing up the ladder, if only they had the budget, I suspect. But here comes the dice for the race lead between Blair Murdoch in the white car, and on the outside now Dave Colville in 52 having a go. The outside line, is he going to go for the switch back on the inside? A wider line in can sometimes afford that, but it doesn't work for him, and he stays in second position. Third place now is going to George Orr, the black ST, quite understandably outpacing the XR2 veteran into third place. Still Peter Cruikshank leading the XR2s, and XR2 Championship leader Wayne McCauley is behind him. There's Stuart Haston in the yellow 98, running at the moment in 4th position in class. We've got 2 other STs this weekend as well. Ian Donaldson in car number 88. You might remember him having a dabble with Fiestas before. STs, I think, in the first year, if memory serves correctly, and also in the Scottish Sports and Saloon Championship. And our 6th driver is Stephen Ward, car number 55. Stephen, in his third meeting, wasn't with us back in May, did race at Cadwell Park, but great to have him back on the grid as the race leaders come down. It's Dave Colville in front now, so Colville leading from Blair Murdoch on the outside. They go through. George Orr in third place. You wouldn't bet against George from catching the lead pair, as Peter Cruikshank just goes a little bit wider. Wayne McCauley looking up the inside and challenging for XR2 honours. Back with the overall lead, side by side. Blair Murdoch challenging around the outside line. This is the inside for him as they go down into tougher stiff, and 85's got his nose in front, but Dave Colville grabs the lead back into Scotsman Corner. Now George Orr's coming up to play. This is going to put the pressure on Blair Murdoch, because he's going to have to look in his mirrors and now start to go a little bit defensive. Just behind them you can see Peter Cruikshank still holding on to the XR2 lead. It's amazing the performance that these drivers get out of these almost classic now XR2s up amongst the STs, and a lot of drivers are saying, well, why should we get an ST if we can race an XR2 on a similar pace? And certainly Peter Cruikshank and Wayne McCauley, who are so close this year, giving us reason for the SMRC, the Scottish Motor Racing Club, sticking with the XR2s. I suppose at some point they're going to have to be phased out. We've got a Mk2 Fiesta now running on occasion in the Scottish Classic Sports and Saloon Car Championship, so I guess some of the XRs could probably nip down into that championship ultimately, providing they were built before 1980. But we're back with the race lead. Dave Colville leading. Now, news coming through from race control. Blair Murdoch has been given a 10-second penalty for a jump start. It didn't look to me like he jumped it, but obviously we were a little bit away on the camera angle, and the officials much better placed to see what was going on, because they're right by the cars where they start on the start-finish line. But a 10-second penalty, he may well decide to argue that out in the clerk of the course after the race, but the way things stand, it means Dave Colville leads from George Orr in second position. We've still got a race to watch on the tarmac, and that's what we'll focus on here. Peter Cruikshank now with Stuart Haston between himself and Wayne McCauley. That's great news for him, because that's a little bit of breathing space. He doesn't have to worry too much. And Wayne McCauley coming under a bit of pressure from Mike Strong, the red car with the silver stripes, car number 5. There he goes, through shot. As we go just back down the order and look at some of the dicing going on in the XR2s. Car number 34, Stephen Emsley, coming under pressure from Craig Taylor. Another good drive from Craig Taylor. Craig Taylor started 15th on the grid, and he's had to cut his way through all of those cars that you can see. Hamish Smart is behind him. I think Hamish had it off a little bit earlier on. Ian Donaldson in the mix in 88 as well, the ST. Trying to get on terms with Stephen Russell. It's the third of the yellow cars, the, for want of a better description, a custard coloured car, the third one just behind the blue car of Hamish Smart. So he's coming under pressure from Ian Donaldson. Now, is that an ID number plate on Donaldson's car? Hopefully joining the championship full time. That would be great to see. As you can see here, plenty of action still to be had in the XR2s. It's the 34 car still hanging on to it at the moment. Stephen Emsley and Craig Taylor trying to cut his way through the field. Craig 5th in the championship for the XR2s, third currently, or sorry, joint second currently in the Newcomers Championship, led by Chris Hanna. And this is an opportunity for Craig Taylor to take the lead in the Newcomers as we go back up to 4th, 5th and 6th position on the road. There is Peter Cruikshank still leading the XR2s and looking for another win. He's had so far a win at each of the 3 meetings, as has Wayne McCauley, but Wayne hasn't had a DNF. There's Wayne McCauley going through at the back of the trio. Stuart Haston now, of course, has got past Peter Cruikshank, and that means that Peter's going to have to keep an eye on his mirrors. The longest serving driver in the championship, well over 160 starts in Fiestas over the years, and hasn't yet managed to claim the championship. He would dearly love to do it this year. Up over the brow they go once again as we head back to Blair Murdoch in 85, still chasing Dave Colville, car number 52, the red machine still out front. Colville this year an ever-present on the podium. Second place, fastest lap in race number 1 of the season. Round 2 race winner, round 6 race winner. Between that, a third and 2 second places as well. So this is the kind of performance that will ultimately perhaps grant him a championship. And he's got a very good lead, very good lead at the moment. 8 points over Scott Robertson, who sadly is not here racing this weekend. So, and there's no drop points either in the championship. So this is great news for Colville. And if he keep in front, keep in the top 3 as he's been doing so far, that's exactly the way that he will make his way to the championship. Now the last lap ball being readied there as they go up across the line once again, and it's 1 lap to go for Dave Colville. Well, time penalty or not, he wants to take the checkered flag as Blair Murdoch thinks about having a look once again. These two have been very close all race. Fastest lap of the race so far is with Blair Murdoch. 1 minute 3.532. So Blair Murdoch, fastest man on the circuit. Dave Colville, though, will know that there are more points for taking the checkered flag. Murdoch with a 10-second penalty. Now, by my reckoning at the moment, that's going to put Blair back into 5th position in the final standings. What surprised me after the first lap is George Orr. He rocketed through the field on lap 1, but hasn't been able to make any sort of impression on the lead 2, who round Clark Curve for the last time. Down through Hislops, the railway straight as it was known, into the hairpin for the last time. This is going to be a nerve-wracking moment maybe for Dave Colville, who's looking for his third race win of the year, and he's going to get it because he's got a couple of car lengths between himself and the second place driver, Blair Murdoch. There is the checkered flag. Dave Colville wins round 7 of the Scottish Fiesta Championship. Across the line in second, certainly on the tarmac, is Blair Murdoch from George Orr. Stuart Haston now coming across the line. Peter Cruikshank wins once again in the XR2s from Wayne McCauley. Mike Strong will take the other podium position in the XR2s, but the fans here at Knockhill being treated to another cracking Ford Fiesta race with the venerable XR2s and the new STs all giving us some splendid entertainment. Here's how they finished. Colville the winner, George Orr classified second from Stuart Haston, Peter Cruikshank XR2 winner, then it's Blair Murdoch down in 5th from Wayne McCauley 6th, Mike Strong from Stephen Russell and Hamish Smart, then Ian Donaldson and Stephen Emsley, Michael Jenkins in 12th place, followed by Alex Shaw, Stuart Robertson, Stephen Ward and Craig Taylor in 16th.
Obviously Blair getting a 10-second penalty for jumping the start kind of gives it to you, but it looked like he was sizing up for a big lunge in the last lap.
He was, and I saw him, but I didn't realise he had the 10-second penalty, so I had to go for the win, you know. I saw there was a 10-second penalty for someone, I just didn't clock who it was. So. Yeah, big. You probably saw him creeping on your wind in the start. They saw that for race control, so they gave him it. But Davey, you drove an absolute flyer there, a blinding race. You know, you looked like you were in control. Shock and Orr was coming through the pack pretty quickly, and you must have seen that as well. I did, yeah. I saw George getting up to third pretty early on in the race. It was kind of a shock to me. I didn't think he'd get that far up so quick. But fair play to him. He's a good racer, George. So's Blair. Good clean race with Blair today as well. So I really enjoyed it.
Welcome to another episode of Racing No Filter. Joining me in sunny California, Bill Wood, and down in sunny Florida, Peter Keene.
We're going to take a look at some of the products HPD has created for the 2012 Honda Civic, and specifically we're going to show you how to install an adjustable sway bar.
Until then, folks out there, you take care.
Want to keep up with all the racing action at the track? Well, download the new Go Racing TV iPhone and Android app. And remember to like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
George, things went incredibly well for you yesterday, but that was really, really difficult.
It was. I kind of made life difficult for myself, but missing qualifying. I got one lap in qualifying, so I didn't set a time. So
what caused you to miss qualifying?
I don't know if I can say on TV. I was in the toilet, shall we say.
Okay, so you got one lap in, but now you obviously go through the field.
Yep.
You're starting from second. What's your plan?
Hopefully get in front of Dave by the first corner and just stay there, basically. That's what I'm hoping for today. So.
You do usually start pretty well.
Yeah, I've got the starts kind of hooked up on this, so I'm hoping to get Dave off the line and pretty much.
And you're not going to rush off to the toilet before the start of the race?
No, I've been.
Good luck.
Thank you very much.
Wayne, things have gone pretty well for you. Second, effectively, in your class.
Yeah, well, hopefully we'll get up there. I want to win it this time.
Well, Peter's only obviously a couple of cars ahead of you. What's your plan at the start, though?
Follow Blair.
It sounds like a good plan. Good luck.
Yeah, he'll open up a door for me, so I'll take it.
Well, yesterday obviously gone really, really well, and it's spitting with rain at the moment. I don't think it's going to come to much, but if it does, is there a problem?
Not for me, no.
Good luck. Good luck.
Cheers.
Race 2 for the Fiestas, and pole position to race 1 winner Dave Colville, with George Orr starting alongside. Row 2 Stuart Haston and Peter Cruikshank, and on the third row Blair Murdoch and Wayne McCauley. Row 4 Mike Strong and Steve Russell, then it's Hamish Smart and Ian Donaldson. They're followed by Stephen Emsley and Michael Jenkins. The back 2 rows off the grid, Alex Shaw, Stuart Robertson, Steve Ward and Craig Taylor. Cars getting ready for the start. The lights already going on here at Knockhill for round 8 of the 2012 Scottish Fiesta Championship. Keep your eyes on George Orr in black on the front. It's an awesome start from him, and he leads. He's certainly got the drop on Dave Colville. We're looking back from Dave Colville's car. Third position Stuart Haston, as you would expect in the ST, making light work of Peter Cruikshank, who's now down in 4th position. He's got to be mindful, of course, of Wayne Macaulay. I wonder if the pattern of a win each between those two is going to be sorted out. You also need to look for Blair Murdoch in the white 85 car. Finds himself back in 5th on the grid by virtue of that 10-second penalty in race 1. And there comes Blair down the inside of Cruikshank. Very easy, neat pass on the inside as they go through Clark Curve. So great start. Wayne Macaulay looks as if he means business as well. Right on the tailgate of Peter Cruikshank. We've got wipers on, a little bit of spray, meaning that conditions are going to be slightly trickier than they were for our first race. But George Orr, it is, remember, qualified right at the back of the grid and cut his way, scythed his way through the field in the first race to take an excellent 2nd position. And now he's converted that into the race lead as the cars come up across the line. You can see the moisture on the camera lens. Certainly conditions not ideal out there. It's one of those tricky situations now where you've got sort of dry track but moisture coming down. It's just not quite not really thoroughly wet, but also it's not dry as well. That's the sort of condition that can really catch the drivers out. Wayne Macaulay there in car number 4 trying to have a little nibble away at the race leader. We go back down the field, as you can see, still all close stuff with the XR2s. Having gone very well is Stephen Russell, car number 12. Stephen started in, let me see, 7th position on the grid. And I beg your pardon, Stephen Russell was a little bit further down there, wasn't he? He was 8th on the grid, so he's made up 1 position so far. Mike Strong in the mix as well, looking round his outside. But Russell hanging on to it. The 88 ST is there as well. Ian Donaldson, the white car. And down towards the back, Stephen Ward, car number 55. And Wayne Macaulay challenging for the lead. Wayne Macaulay going for the lead in the XR2s. Well, he was almost up with Cruikshank. Looks like he had a better run out of the hairpin, as up to 3rd in class goes Steve Russell. So Steve Russell up to 3rd in class. It's a good move from him ahead of Mike Strong. And Peter Cruikshank makes the slightest of mistakes there. Runs wide, and Wayne Macaulay doesn't need a 2nd invitation for the number 4 car to come through into the XR2 lead. Wayne Macaulay, well, this is a repetitive pattern that we've had in the other rounds. He hasn't won it yet, of course, but we've had 1 win in each round so far for Wayne Macaulay and Peter Cruikshank, or each meeting, we should say. So if it stays like this, it will be 4 wins apiece in the championship. So looking back, we've still got this cracking scrap on at the moment between Mike Strong and Stephen Russell. Russell really climbing up through the field from where we saw him earlier on in race number 1. It's side by side again for the race lead. It looks this time like Peter Cruikshank is going to try and get back into the lead as they go over the brow. Let's have a look. Here's Peter Cruikshank back in lead position. So Peter really gunning for the championship this year. As we said, he's the longest serving driver, top on the career points in XR2s. And he's back in front. Wayne Macaulay lifts the wheel going over the curb. Wayne Macaulay, he really is having a go. The battle for the lead between those two, for my money, probably the highlight of the championship as we look at Stephen Emsley, car number 34. Blair Murdoch putting big pressure on him now. Let's see what Blair can do. You can see he's tailgating him at the moment. Thinks about having a look down the inside. Into car loop corner, very clear. Very fair manoeuvre from Blair Murdoch up into 3rd position in class. Very well executed. He was the fastest man on circuit in the first race of the day. I can tell you that Dave Colville is the man with the pace in this one. Always seems to be shared out, doesn't it, amongst this field? It's so competitive. But Blair Murdoch gets himself back onto the podium and he's in 3rd position. Stuart Haston now down to 4th. The leading STs disappearing. Let's have a quick look back in the distance as we catch up with the XR2s. Peter Cruikshank in red with the white roof, still leading that one. Wayne Macaulay in 2nd place. Coming out of the hairpin now, you can see Ian Donaldson in the mix as well. And I tell you what, Steve Russell has got clear now of the ST of Ian Donaldson. So battle resumed for 3rd position in the XR2s, and Peter Cruikshank still there. We saw a little mistake from Cruikshank earlier on, and the lead to Wayne Macaulay. Macaulay there, that point of the circuit, went on 2 wheels. They've both recovered from those moments, and a renewing battle. You can see it's so close. Cruikshank at the moment still the man out front, but here comes Wayne McCauley looking to the outside line as they come up towards Carlo. This is not a typical manoeuvre. He's going to switch back in. Meanwhile, back to Dave Colville challenging George Orr for the race lead. Orr in 31, still leading this one. Colville in second position is all over him. It looks like he's got the fastest lap, as we mentioned. That was back on lap 6. He's now coming up onto the last lap of the race. Up over the line they go. George Orr still there. Dave Colville in second place. Dave's just got the one more lap to do it. 1.28 miles off the Knockhill circuit as they go down into Duffer's Dip for the last time. Orr keeps it tight on the way into Scotsman. That's a very traditional defensive line from him. Hangs on to it, certainly enjoyed playing to that huge crowd in the Scottish Mini Cooper Cup up at Croft on the touring car package. As Colville goes wide, and also going wide there in third position was Blair Murdoch. Looks like has he lost a lot of speed there, Blair Murdoch? Is he going to lose the podium position to Stuart Haston? Well, this remains to be seen whether that's the case. Meanwhile, we also need to look out for Peter Cruikshank and Wayne McCauley in the distance. Can't see them coming through at the moment, but here come the STs. Dave Colville taking the wide sweeper again. We've seen him do this a few times. And Stuart Aston challenging for third place in yellow. So we've got a battle on for first, a battle on for third place. The checkered flag is being readied, and there it is. George Orr takes the win. Orr wins. Colville in second position, third place is Blair Murdoch. Fourth position goes to Stuart Haston. And that is George Orr's second win of the year. Won the opening round back in April. Makes it to Peter Cruikshank wins and breaks the pattern in the XR2s. Stephen Russell will take third position in class with Mike Strong in fourth. But here's confirmation of the result. Orr, Colville, Murdoch, followed by Haston and Cruikshank, Wayne McCauley, then Steve Russell, Mike Strong and Ian Donaldson, Michael Jenkins 10th from Craig Taylor, Hamish Smart in 12th place from Alex Shaw, Stephen Emsley, then Stuart Robertson and Stephen Ward in 16th place. No non-finishers once again.
And the winner of the STs, George Orr, you said at the start you were going to get a good start and win it, and you certainly did.
Yeah, I've got my starts hooked up in this car, so I'm pretty confident off the line. Just a few corners I'm needing to tidy up because I gapped Dave a bit and then he seemed to catch me again. So I just need to get myself tidied up a wee bit in a few of the corners, mainly the chicane.
Championship-wise, though, these points are good, and obviously Dave's got that little advantage over you at the moment, but just chipping away still.
I was needing this weekend, to be honest. I needed at least one win this weekend to kind of keep it still alive, so I'm well happy with what I've done this weekend.
And you've got 2 dry races.
Yeah, it was looking a bit before we went out, but no, I'm glad it stayed dry, to be honest.
Well done, George. Great result.
Thanks, Joe.
And the XR2 winner yet again, Peter Cruikshank. This is certainly going to be your year.
People have been saying that to me for about the last 7 years, so I'm not regarding this one as being anything special. Wayne and I have been swapping wins and second places the whole season so far. At the moment, because I had a DNF at Cadwell, he's ahead in the wins section. So I'm now 10 points behind after this meeting, but there's plenty of room left to go for yet.
Absolutely, and he kept you honest in that one. And it was nice actually to see the 2 Fiesta, the 2 XR2s, sorry, right up there as well, sort of 4th and 5th, I think. 5th and 6th.
That would be right. Although sometimes I don't like the 2 classes racing together, because if you get a slow ST, it can hold up a fast XR. It certainly shows the competitiveness that's still left in the XR2s, even against the modern STs.
Are we going to see you in an ST next year?
I don't know yet. Who knows?
Good stuff on the result today.
Thanks very much indeed.
Well, that's it for another day's racing here at Knockhill Racing Circuit. Obviously, a very mixed day for some of the drivers there, but Ken Thurwell, he's had a pretty good day, let's face it, but that is his only race. But join the rest of them the next time back here at Knockhill. We'll see you soon.